As promised, video number 2, we're going to see now how to go from C to A minor. I'm looking at C like this, A minor, C, to A minor again. Now first of all, this first finger being flat, we used it and emphasized it quite a bit in the previous video, hoping you remember that. And this over here comes from the normal A shape. So I'm sure you're all familiar with A. And instead of using fingers 1, 2, and 3, I'm barring flat all 4 strings. So you might say, what about that note? Don't play it. Okay, so you're just working on that note over there, which is basically all we need for A. So those 3 notes from the normal A like this is all we need for the complete A major chord. Everything else is extra. Now, if we know your chromatic scale, in other words, if you know the notes on your neck as well, that's A sharp or B flat, B, and there's my C. That's what I was looking for, C. Okay, I could also play a C here for 1 or 2. And that comes from the F shape. F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C. So I can do C, and jamming on C. Okay, so 2 voicings there for the chord C. Now, again, we're taking advantage of pentatonic position number 1. If you guys don't know your A minor pentatonic position 1 by the end of these videos, you do not get a refund. Okay, just kidding. Okay, there's the C, and now's the A minor, which you should recognize from the previous video as well. And again, the scale shape, you're going for some nice sort of Mark Knopfler style into a C over here, maybe from there to A minor. And it's nice to take advantage of the slides as well. So if you're coming from C here, for example, and again slow motion, you can see the slide. Nice little effect there. Be careful not to rush. That just sounds terrible. Take it nice and slow. And try to pick the right strings, not the wrong ones like I just did. One more time. Now for those that like finger technique as well, for not using a pick, actually, you can try practicing something like this. It's a nice little way to get and they're using slow motion. If we bring the hand a bit closer, bit of an angle so you can see it there, getting comfy. And then while C is in place there, pick thumb, pick first finger, pick middle finger, and you can see my pinky sliding in over here. He's on fret 8 of the first string, so and you can see the fingers are simply rolling off slow motion and at speed. Sounds quite nice as well. Again, I like using a pick. It can be any pick as long as it's a hard one, which is cool. And I want to show you just quickly why for the C I decided to add the pinky in. Now remember, again, the purpose of these videos is to focus on voicings. That was the request that I had, so I thought it was quite cool to tie the voicings in with sort of scales. To A minor again. But this chord here, not a personal favorite, okay, but it sounds quite cool, is basically the G shaped bar chord. It comes from G over here. There's your normal G. I'm sure you're familiar with that. You're replacing fingers 1, 2, and 3 with fingers 2, 3, and 4, which frees up the first finger, and then the first finger replaces the nut, and that means we can slide up. That would be my new A, for example, A sharp, and that would take this eventually to, sorry, this is really uncomfortable right now, to C. But we said earlier in the first video, we don't want to bend the wrist too much over here because it's really sort of cramps quite a bit. So we're trying to keep the wrist nice and straight. And there's your C we just dealt with. And we're taking the pinky and adding it in because the pinky forms the bottom half of that G shape we just demonstrated. And in the first video we also demonstrated, you're going to shoot me for this one, and that's your Stairway to Heaven with the chord C, from A minor to C. There we go. And just on the passing notes, what old Jim did there was with the root note, and then from the harmony or the melody, counteracting it, and you can hear that. So you can hear Jimmy Page just going up in pitch with the first string and down in pitch with the bass note. Okay, just before, by the way. Anyway, back to the plot. We want to look at some little phrases. We know you can play C here. We know you can play C here. We know we can do A minor here. And there's also an A minor here as well. That's also A minor, and that actually comes from the D minor shape. So now we're back to the original goal of this lesson, where we took voicings and moved them, and learning new ways to play chords. That's what we call voicings. D minor, E minor, F minor, G minor, A minor, all the way up to fret 8, 9, and the ring finger is number 10, and that's the note A. And another way of playing A minor, which I quite like, is like that as well. So if I'm going to C to A minor, I can do something like this. To A minor. Sounds quite nice, eh? And I can put the pinky down here, looking at different voicings again. Definitely not jazz voicings by note. Going more for sort of like a contemporary rock sort of ballad sort of vibe over here. Something that I imagine you probably see Knopfler or Dave Gilmour do. I like copying them. They're good mentors. Okay. But this is also A minor. Pinky's on fret number 12. Okay, so you're learning a lot of new voicings over here. Or I can go C here. A minor. And then you go to C here. And then you get a nice little sort of passing note inside there as well, which you're actually taking from the key. So you must be aware of obviously what notes are in the key of C. And what's cool about the key of C, it's all the white notes in the piano. There's no sharps and flats. So you can add these little extra notes in. And they all work together. So you've actually got almost a fail-safe to sit and improvise or create your own phrases if you know the following. You must know your minor pentatonic positions for starters, and there's the position 1 again, position 2 from fret 8, I'm sure you recognize this, position number 3 starts at fret 10, and you go to position number 4 from fret 12. And a nice way to sit and do little fills as well when you're going from chords like C to A minor is maybe by adding a double stop. And over there, just to show you what I'm doing, I'm keeping my first finger in position for the scale. So it's forming my anchor, my backbone to the scale, and then I'm taking fingers 3 and 4, placing him on fret 7, pinky on fret 8, and then I'm doing a hybrid pick with this over here. So I'm using my plectrum and my middle finger, and check this out. It's almost like a country sort of twang with a hint of blues. So it's a very sort of versatile riff you can take into different sort of genres as well. I like more of a blues sort of thing, but good country is also quite cool. And just one more time, I'm bending the ring finger, so he's bending and he's staying in place, but he's flat across the first finger as well. So, and if I take these notes here, I've got C. There we go. There's my bottom notes for C. And there you can hear it. So the bent note is sounding like the fretted number 9, and that's where we're getting the double stop from. You can also do it from here as well, just a different side. And then on the chicken picking as well, which is the one way of calling it, but hybrid just sounds so much nicer. Okay, little double stops. You can use the plectrum and the middle finger here. If you see up close, what I'm doing is I'm plucking the 3rd string with my plectrum, and then I'm using my middle finger for the 2nd string. And if I get both hands into view, you can see it again. It's just nice little phrases. So I'm hoping it's actually helping you so far. I'm hoping that you're going to rewind the video, fast forward the video. I'm doing it sort of slowly so you can see what I'm doing, that you can recognize position 2, for example, into the C, and from there to A minor. That's what the original study was, or the original goal of the study was to go from C to A minor. Okay, or I can go from C here to A minor like that. So these are just different voicings, different ways to get around. Hope you're enjoying it so far, and I'll see you in video number 3 shortly for A minor to F.